Hey everybody! Today on Mama Nina Cooks, we're making Southern Cornbread Dressing. And I've been making this recipe since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Okay, to get started, we have to first make cornbread. And we're making real cornbread, not from a mix. Okay, so we're gonna start with our wet ingredients, which is 2 eggs. And I'm following the recipe on the box, and I'm doubling it. We're going to slightly beat the eggs. And 1/3 cup vegetable oil, so we're going to double that to 2/3 cup. So those are all the wet ingredients. So we're going to put 2 cups cornmeal. 1 cup all-purpose flour. We're doubling, so 2 cups. 1/4 cup sugar, but I double the sugar anyway, so that's a 1/2 cup. And I'm putting 2 of those in here. 1 tablespoon baking powder, so 2. 2 teaspoons salt, because we're doubling. So we're going to mix our dry ingredients together. Then we're going to add our wet ingredients to our dry ingredients. And we're going to stir just till blended. We're not going to beat this or overwork it. We're just going to make sure it's blended. Okay, I have a 13 by 9 inch baking pan, and I greased this with some vegetable oil. And I'm going to pour our cornmeal mixture into the baking dish. We're going to bake this at 400 degrees for about 25 minutes. Okay, our cornbread's done. We're going to stick a toothpick in the center, make sure it comes out clean. That's why we know it's done. Yep. Now you can make dressing as soon as this comes out of the oven. I've done it in a pinch. It's better to let it sit and dry out a little bit. But if you're in a hurry and you do it same day, it's fine. And I'm just going to cut it in cubes. It's been cooling for about 20 minutes, I think. 15, 20 minutes. It smells so good. It's always hard not to eat the cornbread before you make the dressing. Oh. So I'm cutting it that way, and then I'm cutting it this way. We're going to turn this out on this pan. So good. It all starts with good cornbread. Almost everybody in the South makes cornbread dressing. And I know there's a million different ways to make it, but this recipe's been in my family since before I was born. And I'm no spring chicken. So, you know, it's been around a while in my family. And my sister said, "Oh, I don't eat dressing. I don't like dressing." And I said, "You don't? You haven't tried my dressing." She said, "I don't care. I don't like it." I said, "Okay." I think this was in like 1978. She tried my dressing and she went, oh my God. She went bonkers over it. And now every Thanksgiving, she has to have my dressing. And she even makes it now herself for her own family. So it's really good. You guys are going to love it. I'm really proud of my dressing. So I'm just going to let this cool and air out a little bit. I'm going to leave it out overnight. We'll make our dressing tomorrow. Okay, so I have the cornbread that we made yesterday, and we let it sit out overnight. And now we're going to put this in a big bowl. It was really hard not to eat this cornbread. It's really good. Okay, so now we're going to chop up our onions and our celery. Making me cry again. Flying onions. Should be a band name, Flying Onions. And I'll put the recipe in the description below as soon as I figure out what it is. I always have just made this by sight, so we're gonna have to figure out exactly what it is. Now we're gonna chop some celery. You want to get everything about the same size. Okay, so we've got all our ingredients ready now. So we've got our celery, onions, herb butter that we made the other day. There's a video on that if you want to see that. And our homemade turkey stock. There's also a video for that. I've got some rubbed sage and a little bit of fresh chopped up sage also for some freshness. And butter, regular butter. So let's go over to the stove. Let's put 2 sticks of butter in our pan. We're also going to add some of the herb butter that we made. Just a little bit for flavor. So we're going to add our onions. And our celery. And some pepper. I know that looks like a lot, but it's going to cook way down and get soft. Okay, this is starting to look pretty good. It's been about, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes or so, but you'll feel it when you stir it, if it's soft enough. I'll let it go another minute or two. I'm going to add the sage now. I'm going to measure for you because I never measure, but I'll measure. Figure it out. Okay, that's 1 tablespoon. At least 2. Let's see what that looks like. It might be enough. Plus I'm going to add the fresh sage in here too, which was about 1 tablespoon. stir all this up, see what it looks like. That looks good. Let that cook for a minute or two and meld together. Okay, so now we're going to mix our onions and celery mixture into the cornbread, the bowl of cornbread. Remember that one? It smells so good in here. Let's see. It smells like Thanksgiving. Okay, now we're going to add our homemade turkey stock that we made the other day. A bunch of it. I know at least that much. And that's a quart. So we're going to just keep mixing this up. And you want it really wet. That's what she said. I might need to edit that out. Okay. And make sure you don't have any big lumps of cornbread in there like that. Everything needs to be smoothed out and mixed really well. Now, at this stage, I'm going to give it a taste. Check it for sage. You know, we've added a lot of cornbread in there now. I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm going to start with a half a teaspoon. Doesn't need salt. So the salt in the butter took care of that. And of course, there's salt in the cornbread. So you can always add more salt, but you can't take out salt. So better to go light on it, or not at all, till you know. Taste this again. That's good. I'm going to add just a little bit more sage. Another half a teaspoon. I'll put the recipe in the description for you below as soon as we figure out what it is. And I think that's wet enough. Just kind of gloopy. Okay. So the last addition is going to be some fresh some fresh parsley. Not that much. Stir that in. And that's it. Now everything in here is already cooked, but we're going to put it in a baking dish, and we're going to bake it in the oven for about 40-45 minutes, because I want to get a little crust on the outside, maybe on the top a little bit, and I want it to firm up a little bit. And that sage to get in there. Actually, I like it a little shallower than this, but I broke my dish last year that I always cook it in. But this will be fine. So let me butter this. Actually, I'm going to butter it with my herb butter. Why not, right? We made it to use it, so let's use it. herb butter has parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme in it. I always remember that because of the Simon Garfunkel song. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. These are all Thanksgiving flavors. And nothing smells better than those herbs fresh. Oh my goodness. And when you're cooking with them, your whole kitchen just smells like Thanksgiving and Simon and Garfunkel. Perfect. Okay, we're going to put this in a 350-degree oven for about 45 minutes. Then we'll check on it and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay. So our dressing just came out of the oven. It's beautiful. It's nice and brown on top. It cooked for about an hour because this is a thicker dish than what I'm used to using. I usually use one about like that. But so if you're using a thinner, a more shallow dish, you can cook for less. But it was an hour and then I browned it on top. Okay, so let's give it a taste. That's so good, you guys. So good. Please make this. Please make this. It doesn't taste like cornbread and onions and celery and sage and butter. All that together when it's cooked, it just makes it taste like a whole new thing, like dressing. It's a little crispy on the outside and just moist and good on the inside. The difference between stuffing and dressing is stuffing is just dressing stuffed inside the turkey. I've done that. You can do that. But if you do, you have to cook your turkey a little longer because the dressing inside the cavity of the turkey absorbs those raw juices. So you have to make sure those are cooked clear. So they have to come up to 170 degrees, just like the rest of your turkey. But it's perfectly okay to do that. It makes the dressing taste really good. But I didn't do that today. I'm trying to keep things simple. And please try this dressing. If you're new here, welcome. I hope to earn your subscription. I appreciate you subscribing and liking and commenting and letting me know how you like my dishes or if you tried it. And anyway, thanks for coming. I so appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Aired out, aerated, aired out. Why does it look so dark in here? Okay. So to make southern cornbread, I need to shut up. I'm talking too much. Uh-oh. Why did that thing pause? Actually, I already tasted it again, but the camera was off. I wonder if other YouTubers do that as often as I do.